Attribution is what makes it all go. If you've spent any time in the digital space and within these platforms, you've probably encountered these various attribution models. By default, right now, we find too many schools are still using last touch point attribution. They're saying whatever the last thing that got someone to our website to fill out an application was, that's the thing we give credit to. And if that applicant becomes a student, then that final touch point was the end all be all of success. Unfortunately, when there's an average of 10,000 touch points in the mix, that really doesn't paint any actionable picture for you, because what it's eliminating is what are your different lead types? Does the same paid search keyword that generates an application versus a live chat lead to the same outcome all of the time? Is it as valuable for one lead versus another? What is the conversion rate of those leads to students for each individual channel, each ad variation, all of that? If you're just looking at last touch point and you're running a lot of paid search, it's probably going to tell you that your branded search is doing everything for you and you should stop everything else. Obviously, we know that's probably a bad idea because we've encountered attribution some, but so many schools are still taking this approach, and it paints a very fuzzy picture. You also aren't going to figure out which of those touch points are getting you the best quality leads. That's where the volume conversation comes into play. There could be two different ways to generate 50 leads apiece. One of them might convert at twice the rate to enrollments as the other, and you need to know what those nuances are, what levers in your digital strategy to pull. And then once you are collecting the data, how can you actually make it actionable so that you can get more efficient along the way? So we talked about the problem with the final touch point attribution. The future state, what we want to get to is when you look in your ad platform, when you look at your Google ads, your paid search, you're seeing incrementally every single downstream touch point that every single ad variation, every single keyword helped generate. If this broad keyword helped play a role in 1/5 of an eventual enrollment, you want to know that incremental value, because it's not just a yes or no scenario. You need to know what everything did to get a piece of credit along the way. If you spent time in Google Analytics, you've seen these assisted channels where you can look and see what were all of the previous touch points that led to a conversion. Most schools might look at it, and most agencies might just count that as application. Let's say we're looking at this image right here, and it's just all of the touch points that led to an applicant. What if you could, in Google Analytics, see this same type of chart, but instead of applicants, look at it for scheduled interviews, enrollments, starts, graduates? We can do all of that with a little bit of integration. Same thing here. What if you could see the average length in website interactions, the average amount of time from first visit to last that produced not just a website conversion, but also an interview, enrollment, etc.?